Be careful what you say. Hello everyone. This is Starlight. I just wanted to be a little bit funny with you because like what I did is shh. You have to really be careful what you say or even think. It is a tough thing to learn, but before I start this message I want to reach out to all the beautiful souls out there. I hope all of you are taking really good care of yourself. I hope you were able to get out in nature somewhere and get some air. I know I did, so it was really nice. I went to my 5D fort, did some raking, got some of that out of the way. So, it was a nice breeze out there. I really enjoyed it. I just have to find some 432 hertz out there. I don't know. It just it's kind of noisy out there anyway. I have the road behind my fort. But anyway, before I start, I want to reach out to all of you and see how you're doing. I hope that all of you are doing well. And I hope you're taking good care of your family or your loved ones, Don't forget about them, I know sometimes we can all get busy at times. And then, it's kind of funny how the universe works, at least for me in my life, where, the universe reminds me, hey, you got to, spend some time with your family. I do love spending time with myself. And I really do. I love who I am, and I love even more who I am becoming. So anyway, if you are new to this my YouTube channel, welcome. You can like this video, you could share it and subscribe. All of it's absolutely free. So anyway, we just had a full moon, right now, so anyway, throughout this day. So I'm really into those full moons. I've been ever since my spiritual awakening. So, I always like to learn as much as I can on YouTube videos. So, other things, I like to meditate on a full moon. There's a few different you could do those guided meditations for full moons. Or, you don't need the guided ones if you're already familiar with, doing meditations and stuff. So, a lot of things are happening, and I just want to reach out to all of you and let you know is that shh, you gotta be careful what comes out of your mouth. All week I've been working on myself, and it was really hard when I was up in the woods because I don't have all these signs, in my bedroom. I got lots and lots of stars that say many, many different things, of words of encouragement and, reminders, for me in my life, stay in the now is one of them. And, so out in the woods, there's none of that going on. And so I was like, I had all these different thoughts, and I'm like, it is really hard once you realize that your thoughts are not your own. And I've battled with this, and to be honest, I am still battling with this, is to, to not to try to control your thoughts, but to be the observer of your thoughts, and, just let them go by, and they're going to disappear, and just to really try to stay in the now, in the present moment is so important. So, right now I have to kind of put my seatbelt on, in my area the nice weather's coming, and, it just makes me feel like a kid, and I have a Tigger character inside of me, so at springtime, Tigger wants to bounce around, and I gotta say, no, Tigger. Tigger, you come back here. You have to work. You gotta get busy, Tigger. So I don't know if you have any nicknames for yourself, but besides Starlight, I have a Tigger character that I have to, put a seatbelt on that little Tigger. And Tigger is a tiger from the Winnie the Pooh, and there's a funny song on YouTube about Tigger. So that explains Tigger all the way around, Never a dull moment when Tigger comes out and plays. So yeah, So I don't know, maybe you have a nickname, or maybe somebody came up with one for you. I have many of those. So, if you do, let me know down below this video, like what kind of nickname you might have. I would love to hear it. It's interesting. I always want to know, like what kind of nickname do you have, and where did that name come from? So I did make a video where Starlight came from. Not very many people have ever asked, where did the Starlight name come from my cleaning business, Starlight Cleaning. So I think I'm going to remake that video. I forgot to add something to it. So, yeah, I got to re-listen to that and see if I got the full story to that, where my name Starlight comes from. So, anyway, now, shh. I could start this video about being really careful of the things that come out of your mouth. That is words, I don't know what else, not your tongue. So you got to be really cautious of the things that you say. And when I was younger, when I was going to church, I was taught so wrong, really. It is a backwards, upside down, inside out world, really. Once you start realizing that, you're like, oh yeah, they taught me this, but really it's not that, it's this, and then there's levels to this stuff, where, you might start off with your family and they might have taught you different things of how things are in life, or maybe they didn't teach you anything, and then you go to school and, you learn things there, or maybe even from your brothers or sisters, that went to school with you. And maybe they learned some stuff and taught you some stuff, but either way, we learn stuff, from our past, like our parents and stuff, whoever brought you up in life. Some people, it might have not been their mom and dad. So, but we pick up different ways of living, and then we're taught that is the way it goes, and that's how, the reality is. And then as you go through some maybe hardships, a lot of times that's how this stuff happens, is that you might go through some hardships, and you might have had to learn some lessons, because we all have lessons to learn, here on planet Earth. Nobody's perfect, I have to tell myself that, because, I know how easy it is to, as a Virgo, they say Virgos like to have things perfect, and I know I'm very organized, so that's gotta be organized. So I, it makes me think better, when I'm organized. That's why, it goes hand in hand with being a house cleaner. Being organized, even when I had my cleaning business, there was times I was touching things and organizing things that I should not even been touching, not their paperwork, definitely not their paperwork, but, just I see this is a little out of place, and it's a bad thing to do as a cleaner. You don't want to organize their stuff. And a lot of times I did help them out with things, and they appreciated, hey, look at this, look what, the cleaner did, where they kept it the way I, like wires on lamps and stuff, I would neatly wrap them for them, in their house or their, wherever they lived, where, it made my job easier as a cleaner, where the cord's not all the way all around, where, I could just pick up the lamp real quick, maybe, and to clean underneath that, depending on how heavy those lamps are. I want to, these are just light lamps, nothing breakable kind of stuff, so, yeah, so there is levels in life where, recently I met a man in my area, and he was telling me a lot of interesting things about Mother Gaia, planet Earth, and so I was listening to him for a while, and I have to say, there's things that I didn't agree with what he was saying, about that, about levels, but maybe I'm wrong, maybe we're all at one level. I know we all have the same information in us, that everything's in our heart space as long as we work on ourselves, so, where there's some people that could be sleeping right now, and not realize the reality of their world, planet Earth, and, the matrix part, where some people are sleeping. Some people might, just like in real life, there's sometimes, Like I might be sleeping at nighttime, but somewhere else in another part of the country, they could be wide awake. The sun could be out in their area and they're out working and doing whatever. And here I'm out cold, where, and then other people, like a kid learning stuff from school, like at first they're not, they don't know how to speak, like my grandson's just learning to pick vocabulary, where he could be at a certain age and then there could be another child, with different parents, of course, and they bring him up or her up a certain way, and they could be around the same age, where depending on the toys and what you're educating your kids, you might have Ian, the way they were born, maybe they do have learning disabilities or something that might stop them from learning as quick as other kids. But to me, there are levels, at least in my spiritual journey right now. Maybe when I grow and mature more, maybe then later on I'll be like, there is no levels, it is, like maybe it will be something like that. But for now, I believe that we're all at different levels of growth. That's why, you might be drawn to certain videos on YouTube, because you might go to one YouTuber and see a topic out on their thing, like on your YouTube channel, and it might not resonate at all with you. Does it make what they said wrong? No, not at all. It's just that you're not to that level, just like a little kid going through different grades, like my grandson being 3.5, is he able to do math yet? Not yet. He's not quite there yet. He's just learning how to talk, so so he's at a certain level where other kids might, know a little bit more, depending on your toys that you get for the kids, the educational stuff and what everybody's teaching them, so, and then with me, with my spirituality, where, here I'm just starting out, like, I'm just starting out, so please, don't, no, I don't want to say don't judge me, but really, I'm new at all this stuff, so I am doing my very best that I can, and, so I'm not perfect. There's levels, I'm at my certain level right now, and you might watch my videos and like, that's old school for me, but this is where I am right now in my spiritual journey, and there's nothing wrong with where I am, as long as I am working on myself. And there's a lot of times where the universe is going to have lessons, and hopefully I could see what the lesson is and not try to, like I was doing, try to block something. Hey, you can't get me here. But then it's like, well, then I'm ignoring really the problem that I should be working on, right? So I could say, yeah, that is me. Boy, my bad. Where, maybe you have a trick up your sleeve and like avoid that thing that you should be working on. So the universe just revealed something to me the other day, and I was trying to avoid it. I was trying to, go around it, try to avoid it at all costs. And then I realized, well, by me doing this, I'm really slowing down my process in life, or by ignoring that thing. It just really, you gotta, the whole thing about this message is being careful what you say. So, and that's why I was saying that I believe we're at different levels of like growth. You could have somebody 40 years old, two different males that are 40 years old, and give them some kind of test. Their score isn't going to be the same. Somebody's going to have the higher score and a lower score, and it goes with everybody in life. So, I definitely believe that there's levels, and that's why right now, of course, there's lots of people that go on YouTube that are at a higher level spiritually, but then there's people higher than them, where you might think you're all it, by putting me down and saying, look at her, she's not where my level is, but then, you also have people above you that know way more than you know, which, it is kind of funny, but we all have the same stuff inside of us, all that stuff is in our heart space. So, just that you don't want to judge people for where they are, like in their growth, because you were there one time yourself. You didn't start off with how many, views, like for a different top. You didn't start off like that. It takes time to actually grow, and for people to mature and to learn lessons, and there's so many things involved into it. So don't ever beat yourself up when you feel like, wow, like he's way up there or she's way up there, but you'll get there. You're going to catch up, and just remember there's always somebody above them anyway, and it's an endless thing that goes on. But what I'm learning now, and I've been learning it for a while, it's just the whole thing. It's easier to say it than to actually do it. It's easy to make a video and say what not to do, or try to help people out in their life to, to help them so they can have happier lives. It's what it's all about. I want you to all be prosperous and like to be happy with whatever it is. Some people don't want to be in love, and that's okay. It's all, some people might just want to have the dollar bill, or maybe to be known, like some people want that. They want fame, like where they're very well known, and it goes in the history books, of what this person has done on planet Earth. Everybody has their thing. Me, I kind of want a little bit of, I'll take, like I want it all. So, so really, I have lots of lessons to learn, and I just want to share that with you, is that, when I was younger, these are the things I was taught when I was going to church, is that, I was always had a lot on my mind. My brain, like it was never stopped thinking at all. Even at night, I would be still thinking, and it's a bad habit, but I don't know where it comes from, but going to bed and I always have to unwind my whole day. Not every single thing, sometimes maybe, but not every single thing. But where you kind of get in bed and you unwind from the day, and then you think of different pieces, like that happened. Maybe something happened that was a good thing or a bad thing, or, maybe somebody surprised you. Maybe somebody was happy that you did something or whatever. The highlights of the day, or the downside of all, like how your day went. So it is something to control yourself, not to really pay attention to your thoughts. And when I was in the woods today, I had a horrible time. I didn't have all these signs that I have in my apartment to tell me to, like, your thoughts are not your own. So I was that voice inside saying, stay in it now, stay in it now, like, so it was very challenging today to be out, like in my 5D fort, like out in nature. So, and that's what I want to help you out, is to be careful what comes out of your mouth. And when I was younger, I was told that it was all right to think whatever you were going to think, just, like, and, like, it was all right to think these things as long as you didn't go and act upon, like if you had a really horrible thought, like, I'm just going to throw this out. You could think whatever, but like to do something bad to a child, okay? That's the worst scenario I could think of right now. So anyway, like you get a thought that you want to hurt a child in some way, maybe beat them. We'll just say beat them for some reason. And so I was taught that if you get a thought like that, it's all right that the thought will be there. It's just that don't do it, But then really, I don't agree with that now, because, what if that thought keeps on popping in your head, and eventually you ignore the whole fact that maybe you forget that you're not supposed to do anything about it. Maybe, you thought about it so much, it was like a big mountain that you build, and now you're going to actually do it. Maybe now you're going to, maybe somebody upset you, and, like now you're actually going to, do something about what somebody did or said or whatever, and so it is very important to be careful what you think. The universe knows your thoughts. So I'm working on that every day. I'm like, I need like a whole bunch of stars everywhere, in my car, everywhere I go. Stay in the now. Like, your thoughts are not your own. Stay in the now. I really do. I need like, just to stay in this moment. What do I, like, gotta meditate day and night all the time, 24/7. Just to stay in that now. So if you do get thoughts, and it does take time, you might have to do what I did when I started off in my apartment. Is I had a lot of sticky notes everywhere. Like, on my and then it ended up being on little stars that actually glow at night. So I would take a marker and write different things, and that's in my bedroom space, big time. My bedroom's loaded with stars. So you have to, like, be careful of the thoughts. That's energy. And if you keep on thinking the same thought over and over again, like negative stuff, things that are not positive, like, you gotta, break yourself of those habits, because that's like a downward spiral. So you really want to be the observer of your thoughts, and, like, just tell yourself to, stay in the now. That's what I did today out in the woods, just stay in the now, like, and, like, I sometimes I try things and I think, it won't be too bad if I just bring this thing back in my life again. And, and then I do something and I'm like, you know what? Now I understand why it's not good for me right now. It's not a good energy for me to have in my life, or maybe this or that. You might see yourself doing something. Maybe you stopped doing something and maybe you restarted it back up. Maybe you let it go for, like maybe food, maybe you let go of certain food that you didn't feel that was serving you, and you let it go. And then later, what are you doing? You're eating it again, and now you feel guilty because now you ate something that you shouldn't. Like, you already gave it up and you already knew why you gave it up, like, and then you went back to that thing, or even relationships that happens to people. I don't really recall that happening to me, but I pretty much, when I was done with a relationship, I was not that type of girl that was like, all right, like, and I've seen this a lot in my life, and I'm like, that's not for me, is to break up with somebody and, kick them out of the house, and, or her, depending on whose house it is. That's why I believe in just, hey, let's just go get a house together. That way it's not any of ours. You can't kick me out, and I can't kick you out. It's kind of horrible that you got to think that like that, but yeah. So yeah, it's just like relationships that you can end up going back with somebody you knew they weren't good for you before, and then somehow or another you cross paths, and then you kind of forgot why like, that could be the thing, is that you thought, well, maybe they have grown, maybe they've changed. That's what a lot of us are hoping, that, hey, maybe they matured, and maybe they outgrew that thing, or that maybe it's an addiction that you didn't like that they had, and maybe they gave it up. So with me, there's people out there that they will be together they'll live together, and then they break up, and then one of them gets kicked out, like I said, depending on whose cave is it, is it his or yours? That's why I always like to pay rent, like to pay my half. So, just so with breaking up with somebody and going back, and then, and then you get back, and like, the honeymoon stage is back. I fell for that when I was a teenager, where I didn't know any better, where something could have horribly happened and I got my feelings hurt, and then I was ignorant, I would have to say, and then I'll never do it again, and okay, you'll never do that again. So then I get back with the person, and boom, what happened? The same thing he said he wasn't going to do, it happened again. So that's, I really am not that type of girl. I don't want to kick anybody out. If I had my own place and you moved in my place, I'm like, well, unless you were being abusive, I'll be calling the cops on your ass. That's what I would be doing. If you were abusive, I'm going to just call the police up on you, so what you want in life is to focus on the things that you want and the things that you desire in life. And it's so easy for me to tell you this, but it is it's hard, to reprogram yourself with your old thoughts, and shift to a new way of thinking, the old music that you used to listen to. I have a hard time finding some dance music, where I, I don't know where to find dance music. I've been listening to the same, 432 hertz music for a while, and I love Michael Jackson, but, I thought, man, I could never get tired of hearing you, but then I was hearing it for, all the time, and I'm like, I need some other kind of dance music where it's a 432 hertz music. So sometimes you bring things back in your life, like I said with an ex, where you're like, why did I take this person back? The stuff that happened before, I don't want to relive all that stuff, with that person again. And, so I'm not a female that goes back to exes. I have plenty out there that want me back, and, I'm sorry, but I'm I'm good. So, yeah, you just gotta realize that you really gotta be careful what you think. Like I said, is to just be the observer of your thoughts, and not to try to control it. And it takes time though, and you might have to do sticky notes. I got stars all over, like I said, where you can encourage yourself. In my bathroom, I got new ones. I just put out new stars, starlight. So, you can do it. It just takes time, So if you do see yourself, and this is what I struggle with also, is, if you do catch yourself, maybe one day you're doing really good, you stayed in the now moment, you stayed with the present, you didn't bring up stuff from the past and all that stuff, or you weren't fearing about what's going to happen in the future. And some of you have already got this down, but you've been working on it how long? So it takes a long time for to reprogram your way of thinking. And yeah, be careful what you're thinking. Don't think because nobody can hear you think nobody can hear what you're thinking. The universe and God knows exactly what you're thinking. So I would make sure I take care of those kind of things. And if you know that the universe, which I just got a lesson on myself on this, if you don't know if something's right or wrong, right, and you decide, well, you know what, I want control over my life, I don't want other people controlling me, and I'm going to decide to do this thing, whether, whoever likes it or not, and then you find yourself doing something, that maybe somebody didn't want you to do, and you did it anyway because you feel like, I feel like I got to control my life, and I feel like I'm not in control of my life if I let somebody control these things in my life. So then you try something that you're not really supposed to do, but then when you do it, then you realize, now I understand, like a wake-up call. And then you feel guilty, then you're like, but what's the worst thing? To me, the worst thing is that you didn't get brave enough to try it on your own to see if it, if it was for you or not. To me, if you're afraid to try something that that you shouldn't do, but you try it anyway to know for yourself, is this thing going to serve me? Is it going to hurt me? Is it going to slow me down? Is it going to distract me? And instead of, sometimes you just have to, instead of listening to what everybody else wants you to do, where you might have to just, I'm going to try it again, even though I know it's probably not a good thing, but I'm going to try it. And you know what I found? I know now why I'm not supposed to do that thing, and to be honest, I learned a very valuable lesson. Now I'm not going to do that anymore, like where I thought I was done with it before, and I lasted a long time, and I have to give myself a pat on the back. And now I realize that it is not helping me out. I need to let it go again, and to like cut it, cut that rope, like things that tie you up, like distract you or take your time away, or even your energy away. It could be food or whatever, a habit maybe that you had before. Or even relationships, if they're not there to help you out, and then you're back into the whole thing again where you feel used and all that stuff, then you're like, hey, you know what, I was brave enough to say, hey, I got to find this out on my own, like instead of listening to you or you and you, like, or, it's something that you felt like you were supposed to do, and then you realize, no, that I'm good with that now. I give myself credit instead of beat myself up and saying, like, you did what you were supposed, you weren't supposed to do, and now look at what you did, like, no, I got to realize at least I did something, I didn't sit there and just go by what other people told me to do or expected out of me, is that I decided all on my own to find out, and then I realized, like, they were right. They were right. I just had to find out on my own, and, like, I'm back. I realized it was a lesson for me. And also is to, and this is a toughie, eating my own words on this one, is like, sometimes somebody that really loves you a lot could be saying that you need to work on something. And maybe you're not quite ready to work on that right now, and you just kind of hid from it. And sometimes that's what can happen, is that you can hide from things, like, and say, there, now you can't affect me now. And but the problem is that you're not working on the problem. You're not working on something that needs to get worked on. You're kind of like, I'm a cleaner. It's almost like taking your broom and pushing it under the rug, so nobody can see it. So I've learned a couple of valuable lessons this week. Because I have, the universe has got my back, and I do have a special friend out there, it's got my back, So yeah, it's been a very interesting week, a mind-blowing week, and we're going through a lot of changes. We just had the full moon here, like, and so I'm definitely, I got some little things I'm working on and cleaning up in my life. And, it will feel better in a couple of days once I'm like gonna, like, I already did cut it mentally in my mind. I'm cutting these things out of my life again. I brought things back. And, I realize that they are tripping me up. And, so that's what you got to do. Sometimes you got, like, things that you got to cut out of your life, maybe something that you're eating, or maybe a habit that you have, that's stealing your energy or your time. Your time is, like, you got to make the most out of it, or maybe there's people in your life that, you used to hang out with them or whatever, and maybe it's just a big time waster. You got to think of what are you doing with those people? Is it hogging up your time where you could actually be working on yourself? Are they pulling you back into other bad habits that you used to have before? Maybe the wrong kind of people you don't want to hang out with, or, the drugs or alcohol or cigarette smoke, or even bad food, so yeah, you gotta, I have a lot in this video, not just about your thoughts, but do not be hard on yourself. Like today, like today I had I started off this morning, I'm like, hey, I got a new day this morning, and today was a big eye-opener, I have to say. For a full moon day, it was a big eye-opener. Like 3 things all in one day, 3 big powerful things that it gives me something that I know I can work on now. So yeah, like, you gotta love yourself no matter, don't try to compete with those people that are way above you and stuff like that, like, that have been on their spiritual journey for years and been doing YouTube videos. You can't, don't try to compete with those people. But what you could do is try to do better than what you did yesterday, and that is what you want, is just and that's what I've done my whole life, is to, to really try to do better than what I did before, to always climb up that ladder, and don't worry about where everybody else is on their ladder, let them do their thing. They're at their pace or whatever, just do better than what you did yesterday, and then the next day do better than what you did that, just keep on. It's almost like adding pennies, like each day, you add two, they have that thing, if you had 1 penny and the next day you double it and the next day you double that, and, before long. So yeah, don't be hard on yourself. Anyway, I hope I didn't ramble. I know I did a little bit, so repeating things though is very necessary. That's how it gets into your head, so you can help reprogram yourself and your thoughts and all that stuff. And anyway, I do love all of you. I really hope you get a lot of help from these videos, and I want to admit, hey, I am not perfect. I'm learning this as I go, and pushing myself to go forward. I got 3 things I'm working on, more than 3 things I'm working on right now, but I know there's 3 things I do have to let go. So 3 old things that I need to let go of, so that's what this is about, is, like your self-discovery of who you are. And don't worry about what anybody else is going to say about you or how they're going to judge you, because it really doesn't matter. It's all between you and the universe anyway, And anyway, this is Starlight. You could like this video and share, and you could also subscribe. That's totally free. And you could also write to me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Instagram. I did that already. Or on Facebook. Yeah, on Facebook at Kathy, with a K, Dingman, Starlight. Or you can leave a message down below, and you can ring the bell, ding, 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 for notifications. And anyway, I do love all of you. You make sure you get out in nature somewhere, and be careful. Shh. Shh. Be careful what you're thinking and saying, okay? I laugh. I laugh because, sometimes I hear what I say and I'm like, oh, did I do that? And then I'm like, I'm not even supposed to, and just like, then after a while, like, It is so weird how this works, you just want to always think positive thoughts, do the affirmations. I'm getting, I was doing those every day, and in a while, for a while I was doing really good, and then boom, something, slipped me up somewhere along. I don't know where that happened. Probably dog sitting. I was dog sitting around that time. So I got distracted, like doing my affirmations. They're so important, and do them every day. It helps you to reprogram your mind and your thoughts and all that, so you're not bringing all that stuff in your world. You don't want to create all that horrible stuff in your life. So anyway, I do love you, and I'm sorry. Anyway, this is Starlight. Love and light. Peace.